Hi everybody, welcome to another installment of Wade's Orchids. This is going to be our September 2017 tour. And what better way to start than with Cattleya Chocolate Drop Variety Kodama. This has got an AM from the American Orchid Society and it's just a beautiful thing. This is the first time that this division has bloomed for me, and it's starting out with 11 flowers on one spike. And down here is another spike that has got, I believe, 6 or 7. This has been used many times in hybridizing with very good results. There's, I'd say, probably over 100 awards with this as a parent. It's an incredible thing in and of itself, and it just passes the best that there is to offer in it to its progeny. What an incredible plant. It is fairly tall. Let me see if I can back up here and I'll lift it up. I have to kind of grab it by this. So you see it's pretty tall, probably about 18 inches or so. But if you have the height to grow it, it is very much worth it if you can get a hold of it. Also, I would like to say that these flowers have been open for quite a while already, probably over 3 weeks, and they showed no signs of any deterioration or anything. It does have a little bit of a fragrance also, which makes it very nice. Just an incredibly good thing to have. Here's another cat that's blooming in the greenhouse. This is Cattleya Jungle Bow variety H&R. I'm pretty sure that this cross was made by H&R Nurseries. It's a very nice thing. As opposed to Chocolate Drop before, this is a very small growing plant. Let me back up a little bit and show you. It's that's in a 4-inch pot, and it's got probably 3 leads. It doesn't get much more than about 6 inches tall. Just a beautiful thing. There's no fragrance on this. Also, it only puts out, I've never seen more than 2 flowers. I guess it's possible to have 3, but I've never seen it. So I don't really count on it. But it's a very nice thing. I've just crossed this with, I think it's Toshi's Magic variety Gold Country, which is a very similar type of plant. Toshi's Magic has a little bit better form. Also, it's been awarded, but I like the lip on this one a little bit better. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll get some seeds from it and we'll be able to find out. Here's another cross by H&R Nurseries. This is BC Sunny Delight crossed with BL Richard Mueller. And you can see the nodosa influence, even though it's just used as a grandparent. The flower on this is about 4 inches across and also has been open for, I would say, close to 4 weeks now. So it's a very long-lived flower. This is the first bloom and there's only 1 flower on this. But I suspect that as the plant gets a little bit larger and older, that we will see many more flowers coming from it. It's a beautiful thing. I love the way this has its form. It carries itself very well with the petals and sepals in a very nice line. Here's another Richard Mueller cross. This time they crossed Richard Mueller with a very small growing plant called SLC Tangerine Jewel, and the result is Potenara Hoku Gem. I've had this thing for quite a while and it is in bloom more often than not. It's just a wonderful thing. The flowers open up a very dark orange. As you see with this one has been open for a little while but not too long. But as it's open longer and longer, it goes to more of a yellow, and then over here these have been open for quite a while, and you can see that it's a very good, nice yellow that it fades into. It's a dark yellow rather than a light one. And this is an awarded plant. I believe this has an AM from the American Orchid Society. It's a very nice thing. I'm getting about 5 flowers on a spike from this. It just beautiful. Now we're going to go over to look at some Oncidiums. And I love this thing here. This is Oncidium Nia Rose variety Sweet 16. Just an incredible, nicely presented and very well branched plant. It's also very, very fragrant. I have a cross coming on with this with Oncidium Heaven Sent Sweet Baby, which is a smaller growing plant with purple flowers rather than the red. So we'll hopefully get some good results of that. I've got the plants in community pot right now, and I'll be offering them sometime in the not too distant future. Looking right down, this is Oncidium Heaven Sent, and its variety Redolens. This is one of the progeny from Oncidium Sherry Baby, and it does share the chocolate scent. I really think that this is an improvement. The flowers are more dense, and the flower spike not quite as long. The fragrance is just as good. I really like it. Here's another gorgeous Oncidium. I've taken first place more than once with this plant. This is Oncidium Catatante variety Kilauea Karma. Also very nicely branched. The flowers are about 2.5 inches across, so it's a good sized flower and it lasts a long time. Another thing is it blooms very frequently from both sides of the pseudobulb, so you'll get 2 spikes on a bulb a lot of times, and it blooms more than once a year. So it's a very good thing to have. Just beautiful. Also, this has an AM from the American Orchid Society. Extremely closely related to the Oncidiums. Matter of fact, until I'd say about 10 years or so ago, these were called Oncidiums. This is Tolumnia. This particular variety is Tolumnia Red Berry here. Just gets a very intense red lip on it, and the purple petals help to bring out a little bit of contrast. Just a beautiful little thing. This is not the time for Oncidiums to be blooming, but you see there are some that have a spike, I'll say an errant spike. But you can see these are the ones that I have got for sale here. I'm going to switch over and show you one that I have that happens to be putting out a really nice flower spike right here. Here we have Tolumnia Denting Pink Lady. It's got a really nice full skirt, basically white with a really nice edging of pink on it, and the rust red spots help to accent things. You can see there's maybe 15 flowers on this. This is a fairly good flowering. I have crossed this. Right here's the pod coming along, so hopefully we'll be able to get some seed from it and grow some on. So you can see I mount most of my Tolumnias. I find that they do best that way. If you can't mount them, some coconut husk fiber in a net pot does very nicely. Remember, you want these to dry out on a daily or else every 2-day basis. So they like to dry out quickly. So just remember that when you're growing. I'll take a little look at a couple of Bulbophyllums here. This is a cross of Frosty Eye with Annandale Eye, and the name of this is Bulbophyllum J.M. Galati. This is probably the best one that I have seen from about 15 or so plants. It blooms very frequently. Annandaleae is very nice with its ability to put out flower spikes through the summer. Just a really gorgeous thing. I hope to get this judged at some point, and I'm using it in hybridization. Here's a very, very unusual Bulbophyllum cross. This is a cross of bulb longissimum crossed with Beckeri. Beckeri is really showing its influence here. I think I've got about 21 or 22 flowers. This is a first bloom seedling, and the flowers are about 1.5 inches long. I really am thinking that in subsequent years that I might get 30 flowers or even more on this. It's a very interesting thing. I'm going to try to use this in hybridization to create a new line of some Bulbophyllums. It is a little bit stinky, but that will breed out in a couple of generations. But it's just a very, very unusual and nice thing. Here is an unusual thing. This is a Coelogene. It is Coelogene usitina. And this thing has been flowering for me for over a year, and it's very unusual habit. If you look, there's another bud coming on the bottom here, and it will flower when this one's over. But if you look, going up here, each one of the changes in angle here is a flower. And this has been flowering for over a year on this spike. And here we have another spike that's starting. It's on its, let's see, 1, 2, 3, that's its 4th flower there. So it's a very, very nice thing. Every year it will put out new growth and a new flower spike, and the old flower spike will continue to grow and put out flowers for I don't know how long, apparently well over a year. So it's always in flower and just a beautiful thing. Okay, let's look at some Masdevallias. This thing here I love. This is a seedling that has been blooming for a little while for me. This is Masdevallia henexka. I don't know why they make these difficult names. I guess it's a Polish name. No offense to East Europeans, but boy, it really is tough for us people in the United States here to pronounce these names. Anyway, it's really good. I got this from my friend Anna Malaragno, and I've named this clone Anna. It is just such a beautiful thing, so bright and almost like it's sunny. It's that bright, and it reminds me of her, so that's what I named it. We've got quite a few others. There's Masdevallia vetiana in bud. Here's an old flower that's open now. Few other Masdevallias. This is a new one for me. This is Masdevallia confetti. It's a very warmth tolerant one. It also is a successive bloomer. So I'm hoping in a few years that this will be putting out a lot of flowers. Here is one opening up. I have to check the name. This is Masdevallia Highland Monarch, and really nice. That is not as a large flower for this. It gets much larger. So we've got some Masdevallias blooming. Right here is one left over of Masdevallia Pinocchio. This keeps putting out flower spikes every year, and the old flower spikes will rebloom from year to year. So you never cut these off until the flower spikes go brown. Here I have to turn this around. if I can. Okay. Lack of preparation. Speaking of consecutive bloomers, you can see very easily on this. This is Machu Picchu variety Crown Point, which has an AM. This keeps blooming off of the same spike for several flowers. Really vibrant purple. I like that thing. Speaking of Masdevallias, here is a real treat. This is Masdevallia Herradura, variety Serenity, which has an HCC from the AOS. This thing has got hundreds of flowers on it right now. I am sure that this must have also received a CCM at some point from at least one, if not more than one person. You can see that it is just loaded with flowers here. I'll give you a view from above. You can see even above, it is literally loaded. It also has a fragrance. It's kind of a nice fragrance. Nothing I'd write home about though. But I love the flowers. I love the quantity of flowers. They do, as you can see, produce them on a very short spike so that they don't get out very much from the plant leaves. But if we could cross this with something and get this kind of floriferousness and get it out away from the plant a little bit, my gosh, this would be an incredible thing. I love this. It only blooms once a year, always late summer or early fall, and it's a very easy bloomer. It's a warmth tolerant Masdevallia also. It grows at fairly low elevations. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. If you want to try Masdevallias, this is a very nice one to start with. Here we have some Paphiopedilum hybrids. This is from the group that I have gotten in for sale from Lehua Orchids. To the left we have here, this is Odette's Grace. There we have Hawaiian Kapuna. And on the right here, this is Presidential Moon. All three of them are just beautiful, beautiful paths. Flowers last a long time. They've got, all have the mottled leaves on them. As you can see, these are all first bloom. The plants are not real big, but they're nice and healthy in 4-inch pots. Just beautiful things to have. Here's a tiny little thing. This is Schoenorchis trixeri. To give you an idea, the entire plant is less than 1 inch tall. The flowers are about, I'd say maybe a little more than 1/16 of an inch. But such nice, vibrant colors. The flowers are very long lasting. This is a Vandaceous plant here. Also, here we have, hiding behind the pitcher plant, is a beautiful little thing. This is Dendrobium Victoria Regina. And I'm going to zoom in real close here to some of the flowers. It's just getting close to its breeding time. I think I'm a little too close. There, maybe that's in focus right there for you. Beautiful little thing. There's not many orchids that have got this color flower. Here we have a beautiful Miltonia. This is Miltonia Rick Hood. This is not a Miltoniopsis, it's Miltonia, which means that it's a warm grower that likes a good amount of light and needs to dry out between waterings. This is some of the best breeding that I have seen lately for pure Miltonias. It's got a lot of nice flowers. It's spaced rather well, and the flowers last a nice long time. Really nice thing to have if you can find it. Okay, I'd like to close this tour here with a plant that was bred by my friend John Dunkelberger. This is Cymbidium Solar Flare, and bear in mind that this is beginning of September here, and look at the flowers coming from this. Not only that, there's 2 spikes that have already flowered and died, so I cut them off. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 6 flower spikes blooming right now, and a 7th is on the way. But it is just a beautiful thing to have that for blooming this time of year. I'm going to come up and give you a little closer look at the individual flowers here. And you can see the flowers themselves are okay, but it's the presentation of the plant itself and the quantity of flowers that really makes this an incredible thing, combined with the time of year that it flowers. This is just a really nice thing. Now, you can probably see, this is not a small plant, but it is still called a mini Cym. That's because a standard Cymbidium starts at about 4 feet tall. Go figure. But anyway, this is Wade from Wade's Orchids. I hope you enjoyed looking at things here, and we'll be back with lots more stuff, I promise, in the near future. Thanks a lot, and happy growing to you.